Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome to the BSRTC Pro Series round 14. We are live from beautiful Road Atlanta. I'm Marco Barbanera and of course alongside me Samuli Kumu. Hello Samuli.
Hello, good evening. Good to be back here. It's been a while. I unfortunately missed out on the previous two races. I haven't been able to even catch up to them. But let's see. This race usually provides plenty of entertainment and I think it's like mini version of the Le Mans. I believe that's where we were last time.
Exactly, we were at a very different track in Le Mans. We are back to a more traditional racetrack here, but it presents its challenges, and we've seen it, for example, last week here on Apex when we broadcasted the iRacing Le Mans series, especially the first part of the track. It's extremely difficult to make a pass, but we see the neck-and-neck racing that we have here in the BSRTC Pro Series. I'm not sure these guys are going to be so patient and wait for their opportunity. Then in the second part of the track you have two right-handers, a long straight, and I mean a long straight, then a chicane and a beautiful final corner under the bridge going down the hill. So it's basically two different tracks in one. The first part very technical and the second part more straight lined, and we will see, I'm sure, a lot of action in the three races we are going to bring to you tonight. Before we get into the proceedings, it is a good thing I imagine to tell you how the championships are going. And of course here in the BSRTC Pro Series we have two main
Sorry about that. It seems like Marco is having some issues with the microphone. But as we were saying, the championships, we have separate championships between pro drivers and the AM. But let's just quickly take a look at the overall standings while we are waiting for the qualify to finish. Steven Baxter leads with 2,883 points, followed by Dave Baker at 2,744. Then it is Foggy, Rushford, Sviridovich, McFarlane, Pete Harrod, and Keith Stevens. I'm not sure if he's really AM material. I think he's been driving long enough, but he is the leading AM driver at 2,430 points. Marco, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry guys, all issues have been sorted, hopefully. We were talking about Stevens, which is in P8 at the moment in the overall championship and sitting in first, like you were saying Sam, in the AM standings, and rounding up the top 10 in the overall championship we have position 9 Jack Sedgwick and position 10 Mark Woodhouse. In the AM standings, like we were saying, Stevens is in first, Woodhouse in second, Sakovic in third, Wood is in fourth, and Laidler is in fifth position. Of course we are all working towards the showdown later in the season. This is a grueling championship, takes up a lot of the calendar here. Team standings, CQR they lead with 1000 points over NLR GT Omega. After them we have CQR Academy, Apex Racing, and the leading Pro-Am team is Team MAD. So qualifying is almost done, and we are expecting, like I said in the beginning, three very exciting races. Of course, after race 1 we are going to have a random reverse grid with our amazing spinning wheel, and the same will happen in race 3. So it is very important, especially for the top drivers, to have a good qualifying run in for the first race, because this may be the only chance they have, Sam, of having a clean race in the front, because they know more probably they are going to battle from the back both in race 2 and race 3.
Yeah, definitely. And looking at the qualify times right now, we are closing in about less than a minute and a half remaining on this qualify, and it's really close up the top. We have Nicole Foggy currently sitting on pole with 1 minute 24.22, followed by Ross McFarlane with just hundreds of a second behind him. And that's Wojciech just posted a new top time, 1 minute 24.1, moving him up to the first position. And the fourth we currently have Jane Fluke. He is still out there and seems to be going for it, I believe, yes. Fifth is Sven Glatzel, who is currently at the pits. And sixth is Todd McFadden. Here just went off the track, and I don't know if he has enough time to do another qualify lap.
Of course, what is different between this series and the Racing Official Series, drivers will have the chance to finish their lap if they manage to not get the checkered flag at the end of the 50 minutes. I think they have a couple of minutes to finish their lap, so we are still not 100% sure of the pole position, but that was a great lap by Sviridovic. And just to remember that Nicole Foggy and Jamie Fluke won race 1 and race 3 last week, so they are certainly looking to keep their form, while Kip Stevens, who now is sitting in P33, won race 2 and probably is going to look to make up some positions during the course of the race, or maybe set his aim for race 2 when we will have the reverse grid. But like I said in the beginning, it's going to be very, very difficult to manage the beginning part of the lap, especially in lap 1. So maybe these guys that are behind will take it a little bit easier and maybe hope for some silly stuff in front of them. There are a couple of corners where you can't see where you're going at the beginning of the lap. Talking about, of course, the S's, especially the first part. So maybe we will find some of the unusual guys in the, let's say, top half of the field already in race 1. But we'll see. Just got 1 minute left. I think most of the drivers are already done with their laps. So I think that the starting grid should be pretty much set in stone, hopefully.
Yes, everyone is seems to have finished their qualify lap, so now we are just waiting for the session to switch over and we can go over the starting grid for this first race of the evening.
Yeah, we're gonna have 15 laps in the race, and this is going to be the race distance, I think, for the entire night. And the track is very, 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 very used. A lot of rubber on the track. We also have a very cool temperature, 19 degrees Celsius. So these drivers will have this on their side, but of course they will have a lot of opponents around them, and also, like I said, the track. There are some corners that are very, very difficult to manage on your own, let alone when you are running against 45 other very, very competitive guys.
Yeah, particularly, especially the first few corners, because they are just blind. You cannot see what's going on in there. Let's say you're in the second half, you might be just coming across the spinning cars without even seeing them. And as we are gridding, let's go over the grid as it stands right now.
Yeah, Wojciech Sviridovic is in pole position, Nicole Foggy P2, Ross McFarlane P3, Jamie Fluke is in P4, Sven Glatzel, Stuart McFadden behind them, Pete Harrod, Michael Hall, David Baker, Stephen Baxter, Jack McIntyre, Alex Everett, Nathan Davis, Colin Caniff, Jamie Rushworth, Josh Thompson, Jake Blackhall, we have Adam Hatfield, Adam McNally, Chris Wood, Miguel Freitas, Rusty Laidler, the list goes on and on, Daniel Brown, Julian Janowski, Brian J. Holmes, and this is the top 25. Behind them, we have Brian J. Holmes, Paul Smith, Mark Woodhouse, Michael Blake, Tristan Bodies, Steven Burke, Scott Malcolm, Maciek Sakovic, Kip Stevens, Lee Deemer, and after him, all drivers without time. We see some famous names there, like Carl Jansson, Alex Simpson, Craig Williams. It's going to be an uphill battle for these guys. Tyler Lugo-Vickery closes the field in position 43, and as you can see, we basically have the entire front stretch and the final corner full of cars for this race.
Yeah, that's the amount of cars you don't usually see on the official races. So if this is new to you, welcome. This is the BSRTC experience. Full grids, full of just amazing racing.
Just a few seconds left before we begin proceedings here. Engines are rising, and the green flag is in the air. Race 1 of the evening is on. We see all the drivers, of course, already preparing for turn 1. Going up the hill. Trying to be very, very careful. There's a little bit of contact.
And that was McFarlane really sideways there.
Yeah, and now there's contact again. Oh, and we have a huge crash, I think. Drivers trying to avoid. Be careful when you rejoin. Ross McFarlane, the Scottish driver, trying to re-enter the track without losing. The other was Stephen Baxter, I think. Maybe. We saw definite contact between 2 of the top 5 runners. I thought that was going to be a huge one, but they both managed to get on the grass and not come back on the track. We have our cameras on Sven Gatzl right now going to the twin. They are not really twin, right-handers. They remind me a little bit of Monza, just a little bit. And then the long backstretch, and here is when you can really make a pass. Maybe after you have been very patient for the entirety of the first part of the lap, you get some tow, and you prepare yourself for the braking zone at the chicane. Daniel Brown trying to line up a pass here. Extremely dangerous to manage this part of the track, because more often than not people will try to make a dive bomb on you, as we are back at the front of the pack. Wojciech Svirdovic is in first position, Nicole Foggy closing behind him, and these two made a little bit of contact, I think, at the very beginning of the lap, but then the chaos was behind them. And like we've seen many times in this series, usually even the top runners tend to stay line astern for the entirety of the first race. And
yeah,
they are also...
very clean start for Wojciech and Foggy. Maybe there was some small contacts, but it doesn't really seem to be affecting their pace. And overall, I would say that was a really clean start for the evening. So maybe the drivers were aware of the dangers of the first section and just took it easy to survive the first lap.
You know, I'm used to racing skip barbers, so usually when 2 drivers spin at the beginning of the race in that part of the track, half of the field has to tow back to the pits. But we are in the BSRTC Pro Series, so these are the best drivers in the world on iRacing in this kind of cars. So I'm not surprised that they managed to avoid any huge carnage there.
Yeah, so far everyone is still running. Just some good battles going on here and there. Here we have Jake Blackhall and Adam Hatfield going at it. Blackhall on the inside gets the position, currently up to 17th.
Yeah, nice and clean pass there. We are on lap 3 of 15 for this first race. David Baker just set the fastest time at 24.4. Of course, we have to remind you that to set a valid fast time, you have to do, you need to not have any single incident point during the lap itself. So maybe you will see on the timing faster laps yet, but only the clean lap counts for the fastest lap. David Baker on camera right now, car number 5, right behind his teammate Michael Hall. See, basically every time you hear cars get into a corner, tires squealing, they are managing, trying to avoid, and Baker on the inside right now. Pretty clean move there.
Yeah, it looked like it was a change of positions. Yeah, it looked like change of position between teammates, so maybe Baker is feeling faster at this phase of the race, and Hall just decided to let him by and make use of the draft.
Yeah, and I think it's a smart move. And we see Stuart McFadden going slow, losing a bunch of positions.
I think that might be a slowdown penalty from the chicane.
It's very easy to miss the braking point there, or sometimes you need to miss the braking point because there's some drama in front of you and you have to take the right side of the track.
Drama. That was Nathan Davis really sideways. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he slightly kissed the wall. Now he has to deal with the cars behind him. That wall is unforgiving there, and when you hit the curb at the wrong angle, you're usually going for a ride on the right side of the track, and again, the wall is so close there.
Yeah, and also the outside curb, it is really high, especially on any kind of prototypes. And even on these cars, you might think that they are very close to road-going versions, but even with these, it's really going to upset the balance of your car when you hit the outside curb.
It's Jamie Rushworth and Stuart McFadden behind Nathan Davis now on camera. Yeah, I remember the good old days of the HPD doing the enduros on iRacing. Basically, every time they did the Petit Le Mans, I remember the classic HPD crash on this track, going on the curb and then hitting the wall on the right, or losing it and going on the left side of the track.
Here we have a good battle pack for the 18th, with McNally, Brown, Hatfield, Chris Wood, McFarlane and Holmes.
Yeah, the beauty of this championship is that you have basically battles all over the field, even though it's not for position 1. Daniel Brown and Adam Hatfield, you see now on camera. Adam McNally right in front of him. On board with Adam right now. So difficult to get the right line in these corners. Especially the second one. The tricky corner, you have to be very precise. If you're a little bit too late or too early, you end up running wide or basically cutting too hard on the curb and losing a lot of time. In front of them we see Daniel Brown and McNally going at it at the chicane. Hard braking zone, going down the hill. Daniel Brown makes the pass. +5 positions for him from the beginning of the race. As another lap ends and another one begins.
And the problem these guys have is that on this track you really want to stay within the draft, and now they really need to catch up to Jack Blackhall and the next group ahead, because otherwise they will be struggling to move into the top 10.
Yes, in a draft track like this, if you lose time battling, the guys in front of you or behind you, for that matter, are going to gain a lot of time on you, and so you have to be very precise and very quick when you try to make a pass. Again, we see these cars going so hard on these curbs.
And I believe that was Dan Brown hitting the wall. Let's see the replay.
Very wide. Ooh, just a touch, but it did hit the wall, yeah.
Yeah, that was the high curve that I was talking about.
Another battle here in the back of the pack. Julian Janowski, and there's contact. Almost 3 wide there. Big damage for Janowski, I think, on that contact. He is in the grass. He went straight for the grass. I think it's suspension damage for him because he went straight to the right. And I think he will need a tow back to the pits. Didn't look like a very hard hit there, but it was there, and sometimes it doesn't take much to damage suspensions on these cars.
No, especially mid-corner, if you are turned in and then receive the hit to the front tires, it can really damage the steering. So that is Janowski's race over really, and he is not even going to benefit from the reverse grip wheel. But let's take a look at the battle for top 10. Moving ahead here, that is Baxter, McIntyre. Well, actually that is a whole bunch of drivers here.
Yeah, Baxter of course trying to make up grounds for after the crash or contact excursion, like we should say. In the very first corners, we know he's very fast. He's shown that in qualifying, and right now he is sitting in P10. Sorry, in P11. Steven Baxter, and he was just passed a few moments ago by Jack McIntyre, who is now sitting in P10, trying to get the draft. As behind them, there's another pretty interesting battle. We are focusing on car number 20 right now, and this final corner, so difficult that they had basically to put a sign on the bridge when you come from the other side to show where you have to put your car in order to take the corner and hopefully don't crash on the corner exit. We were talking about the guys right behind Baxter. Here they are. Sven Glatzel among them, going down the S's. Colin Cunliffe is right behind him, in front of them Everett and Josh Thompson.
You can really hear those tires squealing, but still everything under control with these guys.
Yeah, usually if you're a new fan or a new spectator of BSRTC Pro, race 1 is the more straightforward one. I feel like you can say that top guys are in front, and usually everybody, due to the qualifying, is running in the position they usually are. And now we see an overtake attempt here. We are in the battle for P7. Nathan Davis on camera. Final corner of the track. We are into lap 9 right now. These guys are going very, very wide. And Nathan is being chased, basically, by a pack of other cars.
Yeah, they had a little bit of contact in the chicane with Davis and Baker. And I think Davis, he's one of those drivers that is always exciting to watch. Like, he is in the battles, and there is a little bit of squeezing behind him.
And they managed to save it, but at the expense of sometimes for Jack McIntyre. He lost a little bit of time there, but it's better to lose a little bit of time by going in the grass than crashing in particular part of the track. And we've seen some contact there in this race, and all of the times they were able to save the car and not make any damage. I'm really, I won't say surprised, because these are great drivers, but they will not always be this lucky. I mean, I imagine tonight.
Yeah, I believe we get to see one driver who is not so lucky. It seems Lee Deemer has retired from the race, and that sounded like engine blew up on the downshift.
He had also big damage on the front of the car, so maybe he had a previous hit in that part of the car that basically ruined his cooling. And yeah, see, you can hear the engine blowing pretty clearly there. We have another driver out of this race. We are back live with the top of the pack. Sviridovic's in first, Foggy, Fluke and Pete Harrod. Basically they are all inside 1.5 seconds, maybe even a little bit less, trying to get the all-important win in race 1. Pete Harrod is just a bit, little bit behind Jamie Fluke, but either way they are all very close. And you have also to play, we see this as banging and going hard into the corners, but also I think, Sam, you have to play a little bit of strategy, especially in these later laps, because you want to make your move and you want to be sure that you don't give the guy you are passing, especially in the battle for the first position, another chance at overtaking you maybe in the next lap. So maybe these guys are waiting a little bit to make their move in the race.
Yeah, and with this series we've seen it in the past that drivers who can just get the consistent results, they will be climbing up the standings, especially with the reverse grid wheels, the reverse grid races. You really have to focus on your racecraft, make the smart moves and survive and just get points where you can. Whereas, let's say, it is not really a sprint race strategy. You cannot just go all out because it is a long evening with 4 races. And, well, we'll see what these guys will do.
Yeah, because it's quote-unquote easy to be a fast driver, have maybe, let's say, 3 qualifying sessions, you always qualify at the top, and unless something unforeseeable happens, you get a good result, maybe a podium in all 3 races. Here, with the reverse grid, it's a completely different ball game for these guys, because they already know in advance that in race 2 and race 3 they are probably going to fight in the back of the pack, and so exposing themselves to dangers, other guys spinning, and of course battling, because we are not must not forget that the guys that are maybe sitting in P10, P20, they are exceptionally good drivers, and they're going to take the fight to these top runners. Nicole Foggy tries to get some toe there, and he gets it, but still waiting for his chance. We are on a lap 11 of 15 here at Road Atlanta.
And right behind them there's another battle going on again. Nathan Davis, Michael Hall. Davis was just able to get past Hall for the 5th place, but I don't think this battle is anywhere over. We still have a few laps to go, and just about anything can happen here, especially with these many guys going at it.
Mandatory imperative that you get a good run through this first part of the track if you want to have any chance of making a pass in the later part of the circuit, even though there's a pretty strong draft on the backstretch, but still you don't want to make any mistakes, also because you don't only have to watch the guys in front of you, but you also have to watch the guys behind you, so any mistake can result in a loss of position. Now we see Michael Blake taking the escape road on the left, and in the S's he was in position 27 before this mistake.
Yeah, just taking a look at what happened there. It might be just he overshot the brakes. Oh yeah, it seems like he just lost the back end.
So very close, very close call with the other 2 drivers that were around him. And you miss the chicane, you lose a little bit of time. The tempo that you have throughout that section is completely thrown off, and it's not easy to get back into the rhythm and into having a good lap, especially since you are under attack basically after you make a mistake for the entirety of the next lap, and maybe even more, as we see now. Again, great battle here.
Yeah, great battle between McFadden and McIntyre. McFadden was able to get that position here on the main straight, but McIntyre is not giving up and really close to Fadden. Practically no space between them.
Tire squealing at the tight left-hander that brings us second part of the track. Everybody respecting the track limits there, as McIntyre makes maybe a little bit of a dummy move, but it's not really a passing spot there. Also, this is not a passing spot, it's all a setup. Get real close here, and we will see if he will try a move down the chicane at turn 10A and 10B.
McFadden moves on the inside to defend, but McIntyre is just so much better on the brakes and is able to finish the move.
As we are in lap 14 now.
No, that was McFadden. Yeah, he is still ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, what's happened to Josh Thompson?
I heard some tire squealing where we were showing this battle, and Josh Thompson is, I think, towing back to the pits right now.
Yeah, I cannot see him on the track. I mean, he cannot have been disqualified so early.
And he is gone.
Yeah, he is gone. It's not one of those tracks where you expect that many incidents. But I do not see any kind of issue on the timing screen for him, so maybe that was the incident limit.
Yeah, sounds like that, because he disconnected manually, so it is not an hardware failure or a connection issue. So I think, yeah, incident limit for him, as we are back in the battle for the lead. Nicole Foggy looking on the inside of Svirdovic, the series champion. He cannot make the pass, and now Jamie Fluke is right behind the Scottish driver as the final lap begins. It's now or never for these guys. Time to show what they've got, if they've got something for Sviridovics.
Yeah, it's gonna be a three-way battle between these guys. Pete Harrod is 4th, but he's already 8 tenths behind, and that's too far for one lap.
His only hope if these 3 guys, one of them makes a mistake, they are clean through the S's, and the left-hander now in the middle of the track. Foggy going very, very deep on the brakes there. And it is the run on the backstretch, basically the last and maybe only chance that you have to advance your position in the final lap. Foggy trying to get the draft from Sviridovics. Jamie Fluke looking. Covering on the inside is a number 1 car. Foggy goes for it. And then falls back in line. Good defensive driver by the series champion. Final corner. And Wojciech Sviridovics is going to take the checkered flag. Winning in race 1 in front of Nicole Foggy, Jamie Fluke, Pete Harrod. These are the top 4. Nathan Davis is good 10 seconds behind. He finishes the race right now, together with all these other drivers, Michael Hall, David Baker, Jamie Rushworth, Jack McIntyre, and Stuart McFadden. They complete the top 10. See, as usual in the BSRTC, cycling rivals scattered through the final lap. All the packs that they were battling together, they usually make all these dashes for the start-finish line. Miguel Freitas here on camera, he finishes P15. And we can say that we had a pretty entertaining race. We have several drivers more than 1 lap down. Only 1 driver is 1 lap down. So there are 38 cars available for the reverse grid, which we will have in a few minutes. Because if you are 1 lap down, you need to have other guys 1 lap down to be eligible for the reverse grid, and all the guys that are 2 or more laps down are automatically barred from getting the benefit of the magic wheel that we will spin later.
And I believe every driver has now finished the race, so we can go over the standings.
Okay. So, Wojciech Sviridovic wins race 1. Nicole Foggy P2 and Jamie Fluke P3. There was like half a second between the top, covering the top 3 drivers. Pete Harrod finished in P4, Nathan Davis finished P5th, P6 for Michael Hall, then David Baker, Jamie Rushworth in P8, Jack McIntyre P9, Stuart McFadden P10, Steven Baxter in P11, then Alex Everett 12, Sven Glatzel P13, P14 for Colin Caniff and P15 for Miguel Freitas. Jake Blackwell is in P16, Ross McFarlane P17, in P18 Adam McNally, behind him Daniel Brown, P20 for Alex Simpson, P21 for Chris Wood, 22 for Adam Hatfield, in P23 we got Paul Smith and Brian Holmes and Mark Johnston covering the top 25, then P26 for Mark Woodhouse, Pete Newman, Craig Williams 28, 29 for Michael Blake, 30th position for Tristan Bodis. In 31st we have Steven Berg, 32nd Max Wright, 33rd Matthew Kieber, then Kip Stevens in P34, Maciek Sakovic P35, P36 for Robert Graham, P37 for Scott Malcolm, and P38 for Tyler Lugo Vickery. The guys that did not finish the race, Josh Thompson P39, P40 for Lee Rimmer, 41st is Julian Janowski, then Carl Jansson in P42, and Rusty Laidler in P43.
Thank you for that, and while you catch a breath, I think I will do the reverse grid wheel for us. Alright, so the wheel is on the screen, and this will determine the starting order for second race. And it is 33.
So Matthew Kieber going to be on pole position.
And I believe for the second race we will have Sam Fitzpatrick joining us on the commentary booth. But
Yes,
without
we
really
will.
further ado, I think we are good to go with for a break. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we can go for a break and hopefully we will catch you in a few minutes for race 2 here from Road Atlantic.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Once again, photo finish here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMeritt at the line.
Welcome back to the BSRTC round 2 and round 14 of the season, race 2 of the evening. And I'm Sam Fitzpatrick. Alongside me is Mark Barbanet and Sam Kume on the cameras, broadcasting live on Apex Racing TV. And we are about to get this second race of the day started. Marco, it was an awesome first race, I hear. And yeah, really close battles between the top 3 or 4 drivers, I seem to see.
Absolutely, it's going to be a very nice one, and with the reverse grid, we're sure in for a very, very nice race.
Yep, definitely. And haven't got too long to go until we get away. But it's Sakovic on pole position with Stevens second, Kiba third, Wright fourth, and Burke in 5th position. And we will be going away any second now. And away we go. That's a good start for the pole sitter, pulling ahead in these early stages. Got the inside line for turn 1, and he should be able to stay ahead. Sakovic side by side just behind. It seems pretty clean in the background, just side by side between Stevens and Wright. And Stevens just about pulling ahead there. We've got a car on the grass as well, off on the inside in turn 2. But Stevens keeping that P2, all just snaking through this first part of the lap. Awesome section of corners. And Marco, I don't see too much incidents out there.
Yeah, only a couple of drivers in the grass. We see, for example, now Craig Williams. All have behaved pretty reasonably in the beginning of the race, just like they did in race 1. And now we will see the very, very fast guys try to make up some ground. They have a lot of time. They only have 15 laps, and first lap so far so good for these guys.
Yep, on board with Wojciech, and you can just see the mayhem just up ahead. You just got to pick your way through this lot. Just stuck into the inside, a little bit too far behind to force the overtake. I think, will he go for it? He didn't want to go for it, but he's gone for it anyway. And cars ahead was just so early on the brakes. The concertina effects really affecting Wojciech there. But he just has to stay in line at the moment. I think he's gained a couple of positions already. And big crash.
Big crash, yeah, at the final corner, car number 15.
And here's the replay. Oh, well, there was a bit of contact beforehand, wasn't there? And then once you get into that situation on such a narrow circuit like this, Marco, you're always going to get other drivers involved as well.
Yeah, they are so tightly bunched in this early part of the race, for the entire race for that matter. So, and we see Alex Simpson little bit behind the rest of the pack. Maybe he was involved in some shenanigans as well. Again, there is a contact, and Tristan Bodis, who was in position 4 at the beginning of this lap, and now he's severely damaged. Maybe there was some contact between the top drivers, top runners at the first chicane, I think.
Yeah, very odd one. And look at this for the second position. And Stevens, yeah, still in 3rd position. So Wright managed to get past Stevens then, I think on that last lap, on the first lap of the race. But Stevens trying to fight back now, right into the slipstream. We know how strong the slipstream effect can be, and if anything, that's a much better line for Stevens. Just has to get out of the throttle ever so slightly, desperately trying to go to the outside. The inside was open there though. Maybe he doesn't want to force the move at the moment, but here's an opportunity side by side again. Replica of the first lap. Last time Stevens won in this situation. I think it off the track goes Max Wright, and once you get onto the grass there, and he's somehow avoided the grass, avoided the wall. So, tried to get back onto the circuit, but made big contact, and I wonder if that's going to involve any other cars.
Wow, we saved it. He was able to get back on the track, but maybe he was thinking too much about not losing too many seconds and positions. He did not look at his relative or his mirrors, and man, that was a tough one for the other driver.
So was it Wright and Stevens then who crashed into each other? Yeah. Okay. So it was Wright who was pushed off, wasn't it? And then he somehow managed to find Stevens again. And they
Wow.
managed to take each other up for the second time in, what, 10 seconds? Unlucky, I think, there for Wright, but he should have been a lot more careful. Really disappointing for Kip Stevens because he was looking strong there. Does mean that Sakovic, well, I was about to say he's got a big lead. It's only 0.6 of a second currently. And Paul Smith up 4 positions up into 9th. Big gain at Miguel Freitas up 15 positions into 6th place.
Yeah, wow, I'm still thinking about that crash, Sam. Both the drivers are in a tough situation because you really can't see much in that part of the track, but of course, usually the blame is on the driver that is re-entering the track, and that was that was one of the craziest accidents I've ever seen in many times. And now
Oh,
Max Wright.
Wow. This is the replay.
It was a replay.
We can't see when it goes to a replay, by the way, everyone.
We see a car in the wall.
Oh, the amount of times that happens, it's yeah, terrible. So here it was. So yeah, Wright was on the outside then, and yeah, you'll just see them make a bit of contact here. It's a racing incident there. Wright does well to save it, thinking nothing more than just to lose as little time as possible, but
Wow.
unfortunately Stevens was there.
You know, I've made fun of TV broadcasters so many times for making that mistake, and now I'm finding myself doing it more than once as the pits look like a car graveyard, basically, with all the damaged cars sitting there. And Sakovic has to look in his mirrors because Mark Johnston is really close.
Yeah, it's crucial for Johnston to make the move right now because he's got a long chain behind these guys. You can see the chain behind, and to the inside goes Johnston. Will Sakovic defend too hard? No, he doesn't. He doesn't want to lose too much time against Johnston, and Johnston now has to make a big gap whilst the others continue to fight. Blake and Burke, I think, were side by side coming out of turn 1. They are still side by side going into turn 2. Blake just pulls ahead of Burke, and that was actually that was a proper overtake. So he was behind going onto that lap, but he now moves ahead. And yeah, it's one of the best shots, I think, Marco, seeing a snake of cars navigate their way through that Road Atlanta section.
Yeah, absolutely. And one trick that they teach you is that when you get to the first part after turn 1, trying to set up your car for turn 2, you have to look at one of the trees on the right side of the track. But of course, you are also trying to watch the cars around you in a 43 car pack, so it's not always easy to get your line right in that particular section of the racetrack.
No, not whatsoever. And Smith has dropped a few positions. I saw him go off at turn 1 a couple of laps ago. He's down into P15. He was up in the top 10 at one point. And it's all just 2 by 2 heading down into the chicane. Can go to the outside here, and it could be 3 wide between this lot. Smith, Wojciech, and it just goes to the inside and trying to get involved just behind. It's everywhere, and it's 3 wide up the hill. This can't go well, surely. But no, they've not made contact, and through goes Wojciech then. Smith loses a couple of positions, and I think we've got maybe a spinner just ahead. I hear a bit of tyre smoke. 3 wide going into turn 1, and we have Hadfield off.
Yeah, he was in P7 at the beginning of the lap. I think he went into the wall. His car is very damaged. I think suspension damage for him, and that is his race, sadly.
Yeah, and here's the replay of it then. Johnston, so yeah, I think Johnston's just lost the lead as well, but yeah, Hadfield, look to the inside, oh, well, it was a bit clumsy, wasn't it? And
Yeah.
take out another car as well.
Yeah, unfortunate. Lot of cars and little space there in that particular section of the track. Everybody was going for the inside. That was the end for Adam Hadfield. Massive damage. Car is limping back to the pits, but I think it's game over for him.
Yeah, I think so. I think we're back to live now. Josh Thompson at the back of this battle. P23 currently, and it's 3 wide just behind as well. Thompson trying to make up a position. Here's Rusty Laidler holding off Nathan Davies. And Laidler got him on the brake. So Sakovic managed to retake that position on Johnston, by the way. I didn't actually see the move. But yeah, half a second between those two. And it's a further second back to Michael Blake, I believe. So really close between those front runners.
Yeah, we see almost every time we switch camera, guys are too wide, getting into the corners or in the straights.
Oh, wow.
Look at that.
Oh,
Oh! See this pack with Sven Glatzel among the drivers. They are fighting for the back end of the top 10, basically. P8, P7, P6. We were talking with Sam about that curve there. Take that curve the wrong way, you are in for a ride on the outside wall coming out of the S's. Gotta be extremely careful even in these cars.
yeah, definitely. And the inside wall can be pretty testing as well. Bit of door-to-door contact there. That was Hall and Everett, I believe. And they're still going to be side by side. And Williams is just behind as well. He hasn't had a great race. Craig Williams down 8 positions from where he started. Could maybe fight back here. Can he look to the inside? There isn't really the space. And he's just going to have to stay behind for now. Side by side still. And just about pulling ahead, and Williams now sees his opportunity, gets the cutback, got a much better drive, and now he's got the inside, and then these Kias not flat out easily, at least through this final corner, and he can make the move stick.
You have to be... Oh, and now we have, again, battle for first position.
Brilliant from Johnston there. Great on the brakes. Sakovic has been, from what we've seen, he's been quite happy to let that place go, but he has continued to retaliate and being able to fight back a couple of times. Blake now right on the tail of these two. Burke just not being able to get close enough at the moment, but we have still got quite a few more laps to go.
Yeah, and if also Michael Blake begins to fight with these two guys in front of him, I'm pretty sure that Steven Burke and maybe even Mark Woodhouse can get in the party as well in the fight for P1, as we are in lap 8 of 15, so basically we are halfway through this amazing second race here of the BSRTC Pro at Road Atlanta. See the cars trying to move left and right, as we are now, I think, on a replay of Stuart McFadden.
Oh, wow.
Oh!
Wow, that was a
Oh,
big
Jimmy
impact. And,
Fluke!
yeah, Fluke, I saw him fall down the field, and yeah, did he just go into the air there? What? That was so quick.
Oh, he's back. Wow, that was a nasty, nasty accident. Jamie Fluke won race 3 at Le Mans and had a very, very good race 1. I think it's game over for him as well, obviously.
Yeah, Blake has managed to make the move on Sakovic. So Sakovic, his chances at the race victory looking very small now because he just doesn't have the pace seemingly of these top 2 drivers. Of course, Johnston and Blake are teammates, so it's yeah, question: will these two work together? I think they definitely will, but maybe any team orders, do you reckon, Marco? Will it be very much, you know, don't fight until 2 laps to go and then, you know, gloves off?
This is what I would do if I were team manager. You can battle in the final laps of the race, now you just have to think about getting the gap. In any case, please don't hit each other. Yeah,
that is rule number 1 between teammates. Just behind is Burke under pressure from Woodhouse. And yeah, he is. So Woodhouse, can he look to the inside? Burke gives him an opportunity. Woodhouse, how brave is he on the bricks? Burke round the outside. He likes that line, and I wonder if Woodhouse, if anything, may get a slowdown. Seems to be okay though, and he's still got a terrific run. Really, the final corner isn't an overtaking spot unless you're fully alongside. Woodhouse can really get a much better drive. Can he be brave on the bricks going into turn 1? Yes, he can. But no, he just backs out of it in the end. And it's just a little bit unwise from Woodhouse. Surely he needs to just let Burke and himself just close up to the drivers ahead because they got a lot more pace.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, when you are faster than the guy in front, and now we see Peter Newman battling with the GT Omega car. It's Steven Baxter. Yeah, you when you know you are faster than the guy in front of you, sometimes these calculations go out of the window. Of course, it is the sensible thing to do, to maybe work together and get some ground on the guys in front. but not always. As Josh Thompson, I think, has got a problem after he was disqualified in race 1. He is out of the race as well. So another bad race for Josh Thompson.
Yes, not good whatsoever for Thompson. And he was on 15 instants. I think that might be the limit. Yes, it was. So he's got disqualified again. So sorry for Josh. He was probably right in the middle of all the racing and maybe got a couple of 4Xs. Woodhouse losing out to Wood then. So from attack to defense and to being overtaken in the end for Mark Woodhouse. Loses out to Chris Wood, who's on a real charge now. Up 10 positions on his start. And Glatzell's just behind these guys as well. He's up 16. Jamie Rushworth just behind, up 20. And then Stephen Baxter up 16 himself in position number 9.
Yeah, Glatzell looking very, very determined to make the pass now on Woodhouse. Very good line, the S's. A little bit sideways. Ooh, too much coming out. So this will give Mark some much needed breathing space going to the backstretch.
Yeah, and Rushworth isn't far behind either. This is going to be a really interesting battle between this lot coming down the back straight. Wood right on the tail of Burke. And then it's Woodhouse, Glatzel and Rushworth. And side by side now, I think is Wood going for the move. Yes, he is trying to get past Burke. He's going to have the slightly shorter track here on the inside, but he's going to have the outside for this next chicane. Can be an advantage if you're a little bit deeper on the brakes, but he isn't. Can he just keep the car's width? Yes, he can, and he forces his way through. Tried to shut him off to Stephen Burke, but if anything, that was very unwise, and he's trying to fend off Sven Glatzel as well. But Glatzel's going to have that one, and oh, is there going to be contact? Oh, yes, there has. Big contact. Oh my goodness. It was always going to happen. That was just in slow motion right there.
Now, who was that guy that got launched in the pit?
There he is.
Oh god, that's also going to be an unsafe pit entrance, which is the list of Miguel Prieto's problems right now. Too bad, because he was having a very, very good race.
Alright, saves it once. Almost saves it a second time. And there you go.
Yeah, that is Kerbal Space Program in iRacing. Wow. We've seen some crazy crashes in this second race, and we are still on lap 12, I think, of 15. Cameras back on the battle for the 5th position and others in that area. Mark Woodhouse on camera right now. P5 for him. And we see Chris Wood has taken a little bit of a gap, so these guys have been battling a lot in this lap.
Oh, it's nearly 3 wide. Oh, going for the inside there is Glatzel on Woodhouse. But he can't quite make it, and just behind is Rushworth now trying to benefit from it. But Glatzel's still on the outside. We haven't seen that outside line really work going through the final corner, but he can make it. There is Glatzel. And if anything, might lose another position, could Woodhouse, to Wojciech. And I think he has Wojciech round the outside. And this is not a good couple of corners for Mark Woodhouse. He could lose another position here to Stephen Baxter and Jamie Rushworth. Oh, this is painful for Woodhouse. Down to P9, he was P5 just a few corners ago. And in the end, he's now got to try to fend off Daniel Brown.
We said it in the first race. Yeah, beating and banging, but it's also all about taking your chances at the right moment and keeping your momentum. If you make one mistake, everybody's going to pass you if you're in a train of cars.
And there goes Wojciech past Rushworth. Was it already like that? No, yeah, so it was. So that's just defense, I think. And Rushworth trying to gain his 22nd position. Wojciech up 29 already. Incredible run from him. Race 1 winner. And side by side as well. And Wojciech just about hanging on currently. I'll say that he just got past Glatzel, sorry.
Yeah, Glatzel made it a little bit easy for him. Smart driving from Sven. I think he won't try for the he won't go for the pass. Oh no, he will go for the pass. So okay, because he looked a little bit hesitant there. He left a lot of room to Wojciech. Now he's very close. We know, of course, Wojciech has the best pace in the entire field. We saw him doing amazing laps in race 1. Still not easy, but I was a little bit surprised because Sven basically let him by in the chicane, but then was really close, maybe trying to nudge him. A little bit of a bump and run there, but now it looks like Wojciech is now focusing on his next target, which would be Chris Wood for position 4.
Yes, I think so. By the way, the top 3 still pretty close. Johnston, Blake and Sakovic separated by about 1.2 seconds. And here they are. Blake doing an awesome job just to hold back Sakovic, and he might have to sacrifice himself here because Sakovic closing in very quickly. Can he try to force the move? But he knows that the race victory is potentially lost. He goes to the inside, manages to find a bit of space. Is there going to be contact between the two? Somehow not. Sakovic should get a slightly better run, but he's lost quite a lot of momentum. And Johnston should be safe from that attack. We're heading onto the final lap of the race, lap number 15 now. And Johnston's got a 1 second lead with Blake holding off Sakovic, half a second between those two. And you can see the train of cars behind Wojciech, Glatzel, Wood. They've all found their way to the front of this train, and Wood fancies his chances at a top 5 finish.
Yeah, not a lot of race left, only few kilometers. We are in the last lap. See Steven Glatzel, and Wojciech has got a little bit of a gap on him, and you were right, Glatzel has look in his mirror if he wants to defend.
Oh my goodness.
On the curb, managed to get back on the track. He lost some valuable time and a position. Jamie Rushworth now is in P6, and I think Sven Glatzel is safe in his top 5 right now.
Yeah, should be. I don't think he's going to be close enough to Wojciech to make the move for P4. How close can Wood get to Rushworth? And that was
Wojciech, what happened there?
What on? Yeah, it must have been a hardware failure or something, because he wasn't really close enough. My goodness, bit of a power slide down the straight there, and Wojciech is just a case of how many positions is he going to lose? Maybe not any, but across the line comes Mark Johnson to take the race victory. I think Michael Blake in second position with Maciek Sakovic in third position. Good drive from him from pole. Did well to hang on to the two Simortal drivers. Glatzel managed to get fourth, and Wojciech managed to hang on to fifth position, up 30 places, with Rushwood in sixth, Wood in seventh, and Baxter in eighth. Awesome battling there, Marco. That pack after kind of the top three was just so close throughout the events, and yeah, still got a little bit more side by side out there.
Yeah, he's Robert Graham, and he finishes in 23rd position. It was Matthew Kieber finishing 22nd. I'm surprised about what happened to Wojciech Zgridovic, because I don't think he was nudged by anyone, because he had a little bit of a gap from the car behind. His car veered straight to the left, and he was able to only lose one position. That was weird. They didn't move the steering. Maybe you see, he wasn't moving his steering wheel, so it was smack dead in the middle. So I think his wheel disconnected or something like that.
Yeah,
because there was no movement on his steering wheel when he went into the wall.
Well, he'll be glad just to lose the one position in the end. Finishes in P5. I think the highest gain of any drivers out there. But one man who won't care about that is Mark Johnston, because he's taken the race victory from 11th on the grid. Really good pace from him, beating his Simortal teammate Michael Blake to second. That was a great covering role from Blake kind of in the second half of that event. Maciek Sakovic ends up in third. He was just beat up a little bit by the Simortal cars in the end, but showed good pace up there. Sven Glatzel in fourth. That's Wojciech Zgridovic in fifth. Jamie Rushworth in sixth. Chris Wood 7th, and Stephen Baxter, Daniel Brown, Mark Woodhouse in 10th. He was in the wars throughout. Alex Everett Nicole Foggy from 34th to 12th. That's Michael Hall, Adam McNally, Pete Newman, Jack McIntyre, Julian Janowski, Alex Simpson, Paul Smith, Rusty Laidler in 20th. That's Lee Deemer, Matthew Keever, Robert Graham, Jake Blackhall, Tyler Lugo Vickery, Colin Caniff, Miguel Freitas, Stephen Burke, Craig Williams, Josh Thompson, Nathan Davies, Scott Malcolm, Stuart McFadden, Jamie Fluke, Carl Janssen, Adam Hadfield, Max Wright, who we saw had that big incident with, Kip Stevens in 37th and 38th, and it's Brian Holmes, Tristan Bollis, David Baxter, Pete Howard, and Ross McFarlane rounding out the 43 drivers. And Sam, I think we got a reverse grid coming up.
Yep, we got the reverse grid wheel ready to go. Let's see what kind of grid we get for the second race. This one was pretty big, so let's see if we can make it even bigger.
Must say I love the music on these.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we can currently hear it on the stream. But anyways, that is number 40 for the reverse grid wheel.
Wow, okay. So, is it drives one lap down?
Yeah, it might be the maximum we get, I think, considering the incidents we had.
Yeah, so I think that would be Colin Cuniff then. Who finished that race in 26th. I think he'll be on pole for the next one with Tyler Lugo Vickery in second position. Certainly tune in for the third race of the evening, the finale of this round 14 of the season at Road Atlanta. Do not miss it, it'll be with you in about 20 minutes time.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Because here comes Holgate. He has the outside line through the final corner for the final time. Once again, photo finish here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will it be Tim Holgate? It's going to be Christopher DeMerit at the line.
Welcome back to the BSRTC round 14, race 3 of the evening here at Road Atlanta. I'm Sam Fitzpatrick, and alongside me is Marco Barbanir and Sam Kume on the cameras. And yeah, we have just got one more race to go today, and it is Colin Cunniff, as we suspected, on pole position, followed by Tyler Lugo, Vickery in second, Jake Blackhall in third, and then it's Robert Graham, Matthew Keeber, Lee Deemer, Rusty Laidler, Paul Smith, Alex Simpson, Julian Janowski, Jack McIntyre, Pete Newman, Adam McNally, Michael Hall, Nicole Foggy, Alex Everett, Mark Woodhouse, Daniel Brown, and Stephen Baxter and Chris Wood in 20th position. I think the rest of the grid positions will cycle through now. Marco have had 2 awesome races. What are you expecting in this one?
Yeah, expecting a great race. I'm also looking forward to Alex Simpson because he's starting in the top 10. If he can make his way through the other cars at the beginning, he can really bring home a good result today.
Yeah, it's all the help he can get. But we'll see. Colin Cunniff on pole position. And away we go. Cunniff gets away well. Driver in third position was very slow off the line. Jack Blackhall and a couple of really slow drivers on the inside of the track there.
So 2 guys in the wall. We got them. Oh, Tristan Bodies is up in the air, flipping back on 4 wheels.
Well, he didn't last long in the last race. Only lasted a couple of laps, and it's happened again for Tristan Bodies. Not good for him whatsoever. And Tyler Lugo. Oh, we got a spinner, have we? No, I thought there was going to be a spinner in turn 1 as well. That's why I screamed. But it was all turned out fine in the end. But what a start for Colin Cunniff. Away out in the lead, but Tyler Lugo victory. Awful start for him. Started in second position, where he's down to 4th. It's not the end of the world. Wesley Laidler up 4 positions into the top 3.
I think it was Jamie Rushworth, the guy who ended up in the wall at the very beginning of the race before Tristan Bodies had his flip. We see a huge pack of cars trying to make their move. The championship, the defending champion Wojciech Zviridovich trying to make up some positions. He was starting in P22 and he's in the middle of a very heated battle here.
Yeah, and it is champions who can navigate their way through battles like this. You can see him just staying clean at the moment. Got a lot of drivers behind. He's gained 3 positions already, up into P19, so not an amazing start. Mark Johnston has gone up 11 positions up into P15. Awesome start for Johnston, but I think he did just lose a position. Yes, I think he just lost at 1 position to Stephen Baxter. But yeah, Johnston's still looking quick there. Can he try to fight back against his rival? Oh, he's gonna make contact somehow, and Johnston just about stays level here.
Yeah, Alex had a run through the grass, I think.
Yeah, I think I saw that in the corner of the screen.
Behind him, they are still battling hard, and I think Alex will have to serve a slowdown penalty. And this is a very dangerous moment, of course, because he will try to move to the side of the track while all these other guys are battling for position. So Robert Graham now is in P2 and he has a lot of ground to cover from Colin Cunniff, almost 4 seconds. These guys are battling and Colin Cunniff is taking advantage of this and took a pretty large lead over the other podium position.
Well, on that last lap, contact there, and we could have a little bit of a power. No, managed to get out of the way, but another driver spinning off. Is that Deemer? Yep, Deemer spinning off. Feel sorry for him. I think he had to get on the brakes and he just got a bit of a hit from behind. But we've seen that so often today, Marque. Going into that turn 2, it's so difficult to pull off a move cleanly.
Yeah, also Alex Everett was involved. because he lost a lot of position. Chris Wood is in the pits. Wow, that was a very eventful couple of corners there. It only takes one mistake and you can get involved in some pretty nasty stuff, as we see Wojciech once again trying to make up some positions. He is now up to P13.
Yeah, Nicole Foggy will not let this one go easily though. Foggy, one of the fastest drivers in the series, fighting for the race 1 victory, lost out to Wojciech, and I think he's going to lose it out again here. You can see the drivers, the different braking points, all of them just coming together, and you can see now a really dense train going through the final corner. All about that run through the exit, trying to get a good run down the pit straight. And it's just, can you duck out from underneath and go for the move into turn 1? Oh, just a car wide on the curb. Side by side here, Janowski, more contact there. Janowski makes the move though on McIntyre. Janowski up to P5, and now Michael Hall fancies this. Side by side up the hill. Who's going to win out this one? Got the inside though as Janowski, and he holds on to P5 for now.
Oh, we see a car in the wall. I think was maybe Tyler Lugovic. You see the purple car at the end of your shot. Going for a ride in the club circuit. Starts turning right. Yeah. Basically there is a loop, a long right-hander that brings you back to the backstretch, and that is the club circuit. Sadly for him, we are doing the complete track today.
Yes. And yeah, will be really disappointing. Started on the front row of the grid, remember, but far from that now. Simpson making his way back up through the field, lost I think some 15 positions due to a slowdown, but made up a position on McNally, I believe. And next up will be Freitas, who was so unlucky in the last race, gained some 25 positions before having a crash.
Yeah, he had a very good race 1, he was having a very good race 2, and now he's looking forward to having an even better race 3, trying to make up some positions. Of course, he couldn't qualify for the reverse grid after his crash and finishing several laps down. See, because Alex Simpson is also under attack from behind, so it's not going to be easy.
Cunniff, by the way, is nearly 5 seconds out in the lead. He should have this one, really, as long as he doesn't make a mistake, because the drivers behind of the CQR Academy drivers, Blackhall and Laidler. And we've got 3 wide here. Down the inside is that Wojciech, yep, up into 10, and just being pushed out is Robert Graham. Going to lose some 4 positions, I think, in about a corner, I believe. But he has got the slipstream, shouldn't lose any more unless the momentum from the cars behind is just too strong. Heading down to the chicane again. Which line will the drivers prefer? Well, they want the outside line, so they can swoop through the corner, or they want the inside. Going to the inside there is Foggy, and he makes the move. He's following Wojciech through this field, and as long as Foggy keeps on doing this, Marco, he should have a chance at beating Wojciech and potentially getting a podium.
Yeah, this is a good strategy, following the driver that you are battling with. Make the moves when he makes the moves. See now a little bit of argy-bargy in the beginning of the lap. In the mid-pack, we see guys trying to ride the curbs as hard as they can without losing control of the car. Very important to get good exit when you're in battle. And again, this first corner.
Oh, that's gonna be, wow. You could see that coming, couldn't you? And,
yeah.
Could have been a whole lot worse for the drivers behind.
Robert Graham was involved, and I think Craig Williams as well. You see people dropping, and Miguel Freitas again. Oh, bad luck for him. Another race ended prematurely. I don't know what happened there, but he was in the wall and he towed back to the pits. So it's game over once again. That first corner, or should I say second corner, because first corner is the right-hander that brings you up the hill, as we see the replay of what happened. Oh, it made contact with one of the Apex cars, I think, and there was some cars flying in the back. That second corner is so difficult, and we see some of the crashes. Looks like from... Oh, Oh!
crash. In that big pack, a little bit more contact as well. Nothing as major as what happened to Scott Malcolm out there. Really big impact into the side, into the wall, and that could be his chances gone. So here it was. Slow car on the inside. Is he just going to get a thump from... I'm not sure if that was from the side or behind. Doesn't really make a difference for Scott Malcolm because his car is absolutely wrecked.
Yeah, also, in the front of the pack, Jake Blackhall has cut the lead to 3.6 seconds, so he's gaining like 3/10 of a second per lap, more or less. Maybe Colin Cunliffe made a mistake in that last lap. Still, 3.5 is a big gap to the car behind, but it is shrinking and shrinking, so maybe we will have a battle come the end of this race for P1. We are midway through this third and final race of the evening here at Road Atlanta.
Yeah, he's got absolutely put qualifying laps in to the end of the race. Can Janowski get the move on Smith? He's found himself high up on the grid once again. Didn't work out too well for Paul last time. In fact, he wasn't that high up on the grid last time. He just got an awesome start and didn't quite work out for him in the end. Ended up, I think, in P10 after running as high as 4th position, I believe. But he's under pressure again from these drivers behind. Wojciech. Oh, wow. Okay, 3 wide here. And again, Foggy trying to follow him through. Newman loses out a couple of positions. Could lose out another position to Glatzel. These 3 guys, all super quick, Marque, and they are just making mincemeat of this traffic and will be on to the back of that pack up ahead very, very soon.
Yeah, Wojciech had the fastest lap of the race in the previous lap, not this one that just ended, but the one before that, and he's driving really aggressively. Of course, he wants to get as many points as possible, and despite the reverse grids, he is getting some good finishes. He got P5 in race 2. Of course, he could have been P4 if not for that hardware failure on the very final lap, and he is looking really good once again in race 3. But very important for Nicole Foggy, like you said, to stay close to him, stay behind him, and basically don't give him much of an advantage, and maybe try to go for a pass near the end of the race. We have a replay here. Let's see what happened. It's live. Sorry, guys.
Easy mistake. And yeah, side by side here. Round the outside is Smith, I think. So Janowski managed to make the move on Smith on the inside. Can Smith fight back? He's late on the brakes. Could be contact between these two. Smith just a little bit crowded out there, and it could be 3 wide going into turn 2. 2 wide doesn't usually work.
Idea.
Can 3 wide work? Smith very early on the brakes, and in the end, it was kind of his generosity there to perhaps let those 2 cars go that denied a collision.
Yeah, when you go 2 wide, 3 wide there, you have to hope that one of the guys lifts, because otherwise you end up in a collision 100%.
And lose another position to Jack McIntyre. We saw this in the first race when drivers lose a position either at the end of the lap or right at the start of the lap. It can be incredibly difficult for them to hang on to the positions from behind. Smith will try to fight back, and Serenovic right behind as well. And Foggy could trying to follow Serenovic through as well, and he's going to the middle of these 2 drivers. Is this the preferred line? Very slow on the inside there. Backing off Smith on the outside. Foggy trying to make up 1 position, and he will have the inside for the next bit, and he makes up 1. And next up for him will be Paul Smith.
Great driving by the champion. He's taking chances left and right, but he's making it work, and we see Nicole Foggy doesn't want to lose contact with cut number 1. Nice pass here, the number 9, Nicole Foggy, and it's back to Svidovic and Foggy 7th and 8th right now.
Oh, Smith is going to lose a couple more positions. Could be even worse than that. Somehow holds on to it. Glatzel trying to make his way through, and again looking to the inside. Smith, what a rotten lap and a bit for Paul Smith. was running in P5, I believe, but right down the field now in 10th, 2 positions lower than where he started. Jamie Fluke's just behind these guys as well. Pete Newman as well, and Newman down the inside. Yes, he does, but it wasn't enough to spin him round. Good recovery there from Newman, and he's going to be sitting duck, unfortunately, to Jamie Fluke, I think, because Fluke has got the slipstream from Glatzel. And Glatzel close to, oh, it's not really close enough. Newman, oh, he's just looking, surely got to go to the inside here. Fluke left himself vulnerable, but couldn't quite fight back, could Pete Newman.
Yeah, Zviridovic make up another position. He passed Steven Baxter for P6 right now. Meanwhile, in the front, the gap is down to 3 seconds. We've got 5 laps to go, 4 laps to go right now. So I'm not sure that Blackwell can catch up Colin Cunliffe. You see the distance on your screen right now. But it's all happening in the around position 4, 5, 6. They are all battling, and once again, Wojciech Zviridovic is having an amazing race once again, proving why he is the defending champion.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you know who's the championship leader going into this this round, Marco?
I think it was Steven Baxter, the championship leader, going into this event.
Yeah, it's just, of course, Wojciech's going to really help his championship bid with these results. Although Baxter is right on his tail, so maybe a little bit more importance than just this race result. And yeah, Wojciech, is there space on the going through there? Yes, there is. Trying to get past Janowski. He's done well to hang on to that P4 for so long. It's going to be 3 wide. Does Savenovic know that there's a car on the outside, I wonder? Now he does. And he might lose out, if anything, to Steven Baxter, but down the inside he goes. Can't get the cutback. Going to have a better run, I think, but unless he can dive down the inside going to the final corner, he's going to have a wider turn in. Now, can he get the run heading out of this final corner? Brilliant jump from Michael Halsey to move up into that P4, but Sawidovic back down the inside and re-establishes that 4th position.
Beautiful move once again. Well. Beautiful.
Really, he is showing his experience out here. I don't know how many seasons Wojciech has done, but yeah, certainly showing his class just to make up these moves quite easily. He has left Foggy back down in 8th position, and yeah, he's can't go and make his way all the way through these drivers. He's made 1 position up Jack McIntyre, but he's still got Smith, Baxter, Janowski, and Hall all to overtake.
And I can say that the podium is absolutely possible for Zviridovic right now. He's 2 seconds behind Rusty Laidler, who is sitting in P3 right now. Lap 12 of 15.
Yep, just 3 more to go. Still out in the lead. Cunliffe seems to be okay from the attack from Blackhall. 2.4 seconds between the 2 of them. And currently about 3/10 per lap between the 2 drivers. It's not going to be enough. And yeah, sorry, that was side by side. McIntyre just at the back of this pack. And Janowski, I think, is about to lose a position. So Foggy, Baxter gets past. Oh wow, a little bit of contact, and they're both off the circuit. A little bit aggressive, perhaps. And they're all of a sudden going to be involved in the battle just behind. It's still going on now, side by side. And in the end, just pulling ahead was Janowski.
Yeah, they were lucky to avoid the wall there, because this is a grass runoff area. So when you go on there, I see Janowski. Oh, that wasn't the replay. That was live. I saw a little bit of contact there. Yeah, I was saying you get on this grass, and this grass is very, very slick. Usually, it's almost impossible to avoid the wall. Good job by these drivers. But yeah, they lost a valuable time, and now they've got Jamie Fluke and Sven Glatzel right behind them in this battle for P8.
Yeah, those 2 drivers you don't really want to be sitting right behind you. But that's how it is for Janowski and Baxter. Baxter looking again for the move down the inside into the chicane. And I think he should have the run this time. Has to take a slightly wider line, should have the momentum though. And Fluke trying to get involved as well. To the outside goes Fluke, can't really get any of his car alongside, and Glatzel right behind as well. Fluke not a brilliant run through the final corner. Don't think he's going to be close enough for turn 1. Maybe he will be. Down the inside goes Jamie Fluke, but not quite close enough.
I think that Wojciech Sviridovich cut the final chicane and lost a position due to a slowdown. I saw him sideways entering the final chicane a couple of moments ago, and I think he had to give away a position because of a slowdown.
Oh no, it's just a mistake. Oh, how unusual is that? That was an unusual one as well. I don't know if he dipped a wheel onto the grass. I'm just thinking, was it another kind of hardware issue? It's so unlike Wojciech to make mistakes like that. And yeah, you are right. He had to serve a slowdown as well.
And Nicole Foggy is right behind him once again. So these two can't stay away from each other apparently in this final race of the evening.
Yeah, Ladle is only just ahead of these guys. If Wojciech, well, it's not going to be enough, I think, but here he goes. He'll be happy just to make up this position. Wojciech not quite alongside enough, but he will have. Can he get the cut back? Oh, good defense there from Michael Hall. Just stopped it on the apex. He knew what Suridovic was going to do. Just slowed down his car, and if anything, had a little bit of a tap, and that helped him with his acceleration coming out of the corner, and he should be okay down into turn 1. And Suridovic just needs to make sure that he stays ahead of Foggy. I don't know where Foggy is in the championship, but he doesn't want to lose any more points to a championship rival potentially.
Yeah, and maybe Wojciech needs to think about if it is really worth to take a risk to make this final lap pass on Michael Hall. As the drivers take the white flag, so this is the final lap, and it's been an incredibly entertaining third race here at Road Atlanta.
Yeah, always delivers this series, and yeah, been awesome to commentate on it once again. Suridovic looking to the outside, there isn't any space, desperately looking for the cutback, just wants a better exit than his rival, although if anything, he came off the corner a little bit slow.
Will Foggy go for a pass?
If he sees it, he's going to go for it. I think Foggy right in the slipstream. Suridovic is vulnerable here. Foggy to the outside, going to try to make it round the outside. Got to be so late on the brakes. Oh, I think he's going to have the inside from the next corner. Colin Cunniff is going to cross the line, I think, to take the race victory. But it's still side by side. Suridovic and Cunniff takes the victory. Blackhall in second. Let's see who wins out here. And Foggy got it, I think.
Yeah.
Yep. By about half a tenth. So nice one, Nicole Foggy. Really opportunistic move in the end there. And Michael Hall did well to hang on to 4th position. Just seeing a few of the judges come through now. Alex Simpson finished in 14th. McNally in 22nd. And, oh wow, trying their absolute best across the line in the background as well. But yeah, another awesome race, Mark Kate and Colin Cunniff. That's how you got to drive these reverse grid races. Get pole position. He was a bit lucky there, but there was nothing lucky about his race start. Immediately in the first couple of laps, pulled away by about 5 seconds, and from there he had the pace to comfortably take home that race victory.
Yeah, that was the key. Get away as far as possible from the pack, build a nice lead, and if the guys behind you are a little bit faster, it's no problem, because when you start with a 5-6 second lead, there's not enough time to cut it back, and that's exactly what happened. Congratulations to Colin, very nice win, and Jake and Rusty later looked like he was going to lose the podium spot to Wojciech, but you have to finish the race and you have to wait until the final lap, and that's what he did. He was very good and he got a nice podium out of it.
Yeah, very impressive there. But it's Colin Cunniff then who takes race victory in race 3 of the evening. Jake Blackhall, good drive into second. Rusty Laidler finishes in third with Michael Hall in fourth. Nicole Foggy overtook Wojciech Suridovic in the final few corners, 5th and 6th for those two drivers. Jack McIntyre in 7th. Stephen Baxter finishes in 8th despite a couple of issues, doing Fluke in 9th and 33rd on the grid. Sven Glatzel finishes in 10th, and it's Pete Newman, Paul Smith, Julian Janowski, Alex Simpson, Mark Johnston, Nathan Davies, Michael Blake, Ross McFarlane, David Baker, Pete Harrod in 20th position, up 20 places. Kip Stevens finishes in 21st with Alan McNally in 22nd. That's Maciek Sakovic in 23rd. Brian Holmes, Michael Woodhouse, Max Wright, Lee Deemer, Robert Graham, Stuart McFadden, Daniel Brown, Tyler Lugo, Vickery, Matthew Keeber, Scott Malcolm, Stephen Burke, Miguel Freitas, Craig Williams, Alex Everett, Chris Wood, Adam Hadfield, Jamie Rushworth, and Tristan Bollas again having quite a bit of bad luck out there today. 41st position, once again getting caught out in a early race incident. Just waiting for some interviews. Currently no one waiting around. But yeah, in terms of the championship, Marco, do you think this was a good day for Stephen Baxter in the end? I'm not sure how he did in race 1, but in the end, some solid points for him out there.
Yeah, we talked about this with Sam in the beginning of the podcast, other Sam, and you have to be consistent. If this was like 3 races and for every race you do qualifying, it would be so easy for the fastest guys to win regular races and being in contention for the champion. In this series, although being a sprint series, you have to be a very good driver, not only in the lap time but also with your racecraft. So every time you get the second, the third race and you can manage a top 10, it's good, because it's so difficult to make it out alive. We've seen in race 2 and race 3, it only takes one mistake, not from you, and you lose a lot of points, you crash, we have all sorts of problems. So to me it was a very good performance by Steven, and of course I can't wait for the next round of this amazing championship. Too bad we only have 3 races tonight.
Yeah, we could have gone all the way through the night. Still no one joining us in for an interview, but should let you know what's coming up later on in the week. And on Saturday we've got the Euro V8, certainly tune in for that. And then on Sunday we've got the VTEC Super Series for our race finale at Sebring. And we've also got the iRacing Grand Prix Series and then the BSR Grand Tour as well. And that will round out our week's action. But for now, from me, from Marco, and from Sam, we will bid you goodbye, and we will see you next Thursday for round 15 of the BSRTC.